Hey, Coach Abel here along with my colleague Kevin the Machine Weiss of the Abel Body Experts, and we're going to throw a few segments at you here of Coach 'em Ups. We're going to call this Straight Talk with the Coaches. So I'm going to mention here, Coach has been on quite the tear in the last month or two. He's won 3 different powerlifting meets in 3 different which
federations, I guess.
Three different federations, and Coach is too modest to brag on himself, so I'm going to do it because it takes, for me, I let very few people into my world that I would call colleague. They have to fit very specific criteria, and Coach makes them all, if any of you have seen him performing on the YouTube channel. So anyway, I thought you guys could all benefit from what it's like at the highest level of performance, and it's a lot different than you might think because you're being catered to all the time with fancy recipes and whatnot on the internet. So we're just going to call this Straight Talk, Coffee with the Coaches, because Coach and I get together for coffee almost weekly, and every time we do, this is the kind of stuff we talk about. So Coach, first of all, congrats.
Thank you.
3 victories. You entered 3 shows, you won them all.
Yeah, they were all about a month apart, so they were all raw meets, so there was no equipment, powerlifting equipment, whatever you want to call it.
Let's explain that for people that might not understand what raw powerlifting is.
There's two different classifications, I guess, of powerlifting, and one involves equipment, which is support equipment, essentially, is what it is. And then another, the raw,
shirts,
yeah,
like that.
Yeah, shirts and suits and knee wraps and stuff like that.
Right.
And then in the raw lifting, the only thing that you're allowed to wear is your weightlifting belt, as far as support equipment goes, and that's more for safety than it is actually for helping you lift more weight.
So that's just you under the pig iron, lifting through the full range of motion.
Pretty much, like I said to you earlier, I think that's probably the great equalizer, is take away any type of support equipment per se, and
leverage advantages.
Yeah, and it pretty much puts everybody on an equal playing field. So it's a good way to compete, and a lot of good people, and have a lot of fun doing it too.
Now, not to get too particular, but I'm going to brag on you for a little bit. You didn't just win these shows; you did a few other extra special things too, didn't you?
Yeah, I set a Canadian national record in 100% raw, drug-tested powerlifting, and I set a world record in my age group for the bench as well.
That's 2.
I won overall best lifter, and I won overall best bench press as well in that one. So
you might actually know what you're talking about a little bit.
Some people may have that opinion, yeah. You never know.
Unlike some of the comments we get on this YouTube channel, we don't know anything.
Others might argue, but yeah, I might know 1 or 2 things.
Okay, so 3, and you just went back to powerlifting, sort of. You just made a decision, said, I think I'll go back and give this a try again.
Yeah, I decided I competed in powerlifting the last time in 2007, and I just decided to go back and give it a whirl, just for the sake of giving it a whirl.
And quite the whirl you gave it.
That was in March, I think I decided to do that. So,
right, so you took how many weeks of prep?
It was about 12 weeks going into the first competition, which was in June. And so yeah, it was about 12 weeks building up towards that.
And what's next?
Starting on Monday, this is being filmed on a Saturday, so Monday it's 12 weeks to the 100% raw World Championships.
Now, what kind of chance do you have there? I hear you're already pretty close.
Well, it's hard to say, but let's just say I got a couple more records in my sights. So
you're already close to the world records now, are you not, for this category?
Some of them, yeah. It's
he doesn't like to brag on himself, folks.
Especially in my age group, yeah. But for the overall world records, there's some that are within reach, I think. Some are like they're pretty impressive records. Maybe not by some people's standards.
Well,
based on
people who understand raw lifts.
Exactly. So that's as far as the raw lifting goes in my weight class. They're good lifts for sure, but yeah, I don't see them unattainable. Let's put it that way.
Awesome. So the World Championships coming up in the fall. We're going to get into talking a little bit about your training for this and your diet and your supplementation. So I think people will be interested in hearing all this. So we're going to get into that. But first, I just wanted to introduce this Straight Talk segment. and of course to say congrats to my friend and colleague here, because he wouldn't say it himself. And we're going to get right into some training and diet and supplements, and I think you might be surprised with what you're about to hear. So stay tuned for parts 2 and onward.